All right, everyone, buckle up. We're about to take a deep dive into the world of questionable music.
Oh boy.
We're talking about the top 10's list of the worst hit songs of 2024. You know, the songs that make you wonder, what were they thinking?
Right. Some real head scratchers.
Yeah, seriously. It's going to be something to unpack this. Maybe find some guilty pleasures along the way, right?
I mean, what makes a song bad is pretty subjective, isn't it?
Totally. What one person might call an earworm, another person's like, get this away from me.
But I think even these kind of cringeworthy songs can tell us something about what's going on in the world, Like they're a reflection of the times.
Oh, yeah, totally. It's like a musical time capsule of, well, maybe not the best moments, but the moments nonetheless.
Exactly.
So let's jump right in. One thing that's really standing out to me is the sheer amount of genre blending. We've got Machine Gun Kelly and Jelly Roll together,
Oh, wow.
Post Malone and Morgan Wallen,
Interesting combo.
and even Marshmello with Kane Brown. Like, what is going on?
I think it's really fascinating. I mean, streaming has really broken down those genre walls, hasn't it?
For sure.
And you've got all these artists who grew up listening to all kinds of different music. So it kind of makes sense that their own music would be a big mix of everything.
Yeah, it's a good point. But I wonder if we're going to end up with everything just kind of sounding the same.
That's a real concern, right? Like, are we losing that unique character of each genre?
Exactly. There's something to think of there. Anyway, let's move on to some big names who are getting some serious flack this year.
Okay, let's hear it.
Kanye West.
Ah, of course.
His new track, Carnival. A lot of the comments are saying it's a sign that he's lost his spark.
Yeah, Kanye's always been a controversial figure. I mean, people either love him or hate him.
Yeah, totally.
But with this particular song, some critics are saying the production just sounds kind of, I don't know, uninspired.
Really?
Yeah. And the lyrics, some people are saying the repetitive and not as deep as his older stuff.
Wow. I guess you can't please everyone.
You can't please everyone all the time.
Nope. And speaking of artists who might not be pleasing everyone, we got to talk about Eminem.
Oh, yeah. What's he up to?
Well, he tried to bring back his Slim Shady persona with Houdini,
Ooh, bold move.
but it seems like a lot of people aren't buying it.
Yeah, I mean, humor changes over time, doesn't it?
For sure.
What was shocking 20 years ago might just be kind of awkward today. And I think some people are feeling like this new track is missing that clever wordplay that made Slim Shady so iconic back in the day.
Right, like you can't just recapture the past. The world's moved on.
Yeah, yeah.
And even Taylor Swift, with her massive fan base, she's getting some criticism too.
Really?
Yeah, there's a song called Who's Afraid of Little Old Me,
Interesting.
and some people are calling it a career low.
Taylor Swift, she built her career on those super relatable, sincere lyrics. And I think with this song, maybe she's trying out a different style, like a more sarcastic, kind of self-deprecating tone.
Yeah, maybe.
And I think some fans are finding it a little, I don't know, jarring. Like it doesn't feel like the Taylor they know and love.
Right, like it's almost too ironic or something.
Yeah, exactly. It's just not her.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to some of the songs that are so bad they're good. You know what I mean?
Oh, I love those.
Those ones that are so terrible you just can't help but laugh.
Yes, they become like a meme.
Exactly. Like, I gotta admit, KSI's Thick of It had me cracking up.
Oh, that's a classic.
I mean, it's so universally disliked, but it's almost like we're all in on the joke?
Absolutely. It's like, oh, honey, no.
Totally. And then there's Ice Spice's Think You the Saint Fart. I mean, the title alone is gold.
Oh, my God.
It's just pure ridiculousness.
Right. It's a good reminder that music doesn't always have to be so serious.
Yeah, sometimes it's just about having fun, even if it's at the expense of good taste.
Exactly.
But okay, let's get serious for a second and try to understand why some of these songs are considered so bad. Sabrina Carpenter's Taste is getting some heat for its lyrics.
Oh, yeah, I heard about this one.
A lot of people are saying it's inappropriate, especially considering she has a younger fan base.
Yeah, there are a few lines in there that are a little suggestive.
Like that line about licking something off someone.
Yeah, that one. I mean, it sparked a whole debate about, like, what's appropriate for younger listeners?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
It is. Where do you draw the line between artistic expression and, being responsible?
It's a tough balance for sure. Then there's Billie Eilish.
Uh-oh.
Now, he's known for her darker themes, but even some of her diehard fans are having a hard time with Lunch.
Oh, yeah, the cannibalism song.
Yeah, that one is definitely pushing some buttons.
I think it's interesting how an artist's image can affect how people interpret their music. Like, with Billie, people already expect something a little darker from her?
Yeah, so maybe they're more sensitive to certain themes?
Maybe. I don't know. It's complicated.
Definitely. And speaking of complicated, we got to talk about Nicki Minaj's Bigfoot. It's a full-on diss track aimed at Megan Thee Stallion.
Oh, the drama.
It's got everyone talking about the role of diss tracks in the age of social media, you know?
Totally. Like, is it just for show? Or are there real feelings involved?
Right. It's hard to tell.
And with social media, it all just blows up so quickly.
Oh, for sure. It's a whole other level of drama. And finally, we have to talk about the Disturbed remix of The Sound of Silence.
Oh, yeah, the Deep House one.
Yeah, it seems like Deep House is a really polarizing genre. Like, people either love it or hate it.
It's definitely a unique sound. And with this remix, you're combining heavy metal with Deep House, which is a choice.
Yeah, bold choice.
And some people are loving it, but others are like, what is this?
It's a good reminder that music is so subjective. What sounds amazing to one person can be absolute torture to another.
Couldn't agree more. So what about you? What stood out to you so far from this list of musical mishaps?
I think it's crazy how these bad songs can tell us so much about what's going on in culture, you know? Like, we see artists trying new things, sometimes failing, sometimes succeeding.
Totally. It's like a snapshot of the creative process and all its messy glory.
Exactly. It's not just about making fun of bad music. It's about understanding what it says about us as a society.
Love that perspective.
All right, you ready to tackle the next round of musical mayhem?
Hit me with it. I'm ready. Oh, yeah, bring it on. I'm ready for more.
All right, let's do it. So, one thing I've noticed is there are a lot of country songs on this list that are getting called out for being, well, kind of unoriginal.
Oh, really? Like what?
Like, there's Hardy's Truck Bed. One listener even said it's like a checklist of every country cliche.
You
know?
get like what kind of cliches?
Oh, pickup trucks, dirt roads, small town nostalgia, that kind of stuff.
Ah, the classics.
Right. Like it's all been done before.
I guess some people just want that classic sound.
Yeah, maybe. But it gets kind of boring after a while,
Yeah, I get that. You want something fresh, something new.
Exactly. And then there's Morgan Wallen's Cowgirls.
Oh, what about that one?
People are saying the lyrics are kind of shallow, like it's just another party anthem about objectifying women.
Yeah. I can see how some people might not be into that.
Right, like where's the depth? Where's the emotion?
Yeah, some people want more than just a catchy beat.
Exactly. And you know what's crazy? Even Beyoncé is getting some criticism for playing it safe.
No way, Queen Bey.
Yeah. Her track, Texas Hold'em, is on here. People are saying it sounds generic, like nothing special.
Wow. I mean, I guess it happens to the best of us, right?
I guess so. Even Beyoncé can't win them all. Okay, let's go back to diss tracks for a sec. We already talked about Nicki Minaj. But there's another one that's causing a stir.
Oh, which one?
Tom MacDonald Facts, featuring, wait for it, Ben Shapiro.
Whoa, hold on. Ben Shapiro, like the political commentator?
The one and only. It's like a weird mix of music, politics, and internet culture all rolled into one.
Okay, now I gotta hear this. That's a wild combo.
I know, right? It's definitely gotten people talking, but not always in a good way.
Yeah, I can imagine. So what else we got? What other lyrical masterpieces are making people cringe?
Oh, we got Sabrina Carpenter again. She's got 2 songs on the list this time, Espresso and Taste.
Oh, yeah, those were the controversial ones, right?
Yeah, the lyrics are rubbing some people the wrong way.
It's tough because, like, what's offensive to one person might be totally fine to someone else.
Right. It's all about perspective.
Yeah, and with an artist like Sabrina Carpenter, who has a lot of young fans, it's even more complicated.
Totally. You got to be careful what you put out there. And then there's Billie Eilish again. Even for her biggest fans, they're like, okay, this is a bit much.
Which song, Lunch, again?
Well, Lunch is definitely up there, but there's also Birds of a Feather.
What's wrong with that one? I don't remember seeing a lot of comments about it.
Yeah, it's weird. The comments are kind of vague. Like, they just say it's bad, but they don't really say why.
Huh. Maybe it's just like a boring song. Nothing specifically wrong with it, but just kind of bland.
Yeah, maybe. So it's missing that Billie Eilish spark. Speaking of missing the spark, Sia's I Forgive You is getting absolutely roasted online.
Really? What's the deal with that one?
I don't know. It's just not doing it for people. A lot of the comments are saying it sounds like she's lost her edge.
That's tough. I mean, when you've been in the game for a while, it's got to be hard to keep reinventing yourself.
Yeah, for sure, and keeping everyone happy. Especially when some fans just want you to keep making the theme stuff over and over again.
All right. Give me that old school Sia. None of this new stuff.
Exactly. Okay, last one before we take a little break. Taylor Swift again. This time it's Down Bad.
Interesting. This one didn't even make the top 10, is it?
Nope. But it still made the list, which I think kind of proves that even Taylor Swift can't release a perfect song every time.
Totally. And you know what? It's kind of refreshing, and makes her seem more human.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Nobody's perfect. Okay, before we jump into the last batch of songs, I got to ask, what are your thoughts so far? What's standing out to you?
I think it's fascinating to see this tension between, like, what artists want to create and what audiences expect from them. Like some artists are really trying to push boundary, experiment with new sounds, but then they get criticized for not sounding like their old selves.
Right? It's like a constant battle between innovation and nostalgia.
Exactly. And then you've got all these different opinions flying around on social media. It's a whole new world for musicians.
For sure. It's like everyone's a critic now. All right, you're ready to face the final contenders? Bring it on. Let's finish strong. Okay, so we've got some interesting pairings on this list. Like, get this, Rosé and Bruno Mars.
Oh, wow.
Teamed up for a song called Apt. And it's not doing so well.
Really? I mean, that sounds like a recipe for success, right?
Right. You'd think so? But people are saying it's just, I don't know, kind of bland.
Oh, no.
Like it's missing that spark.
Yeah, sometimes even when you put two super talented people together, it just doesn't work.
Chemistry's a mysterious thing.
It is.
One listener even accused them of ripping off, like Gwen Stefani, Taylor Swift, and Rihanna all in one song.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah, not a good look. And then there's Dua Lipa.
What'd she do?
Her song Houdini is also getting some hate.
I think with Dua Lipa, there's a lot of pressure to keep delivering hits.
Oh yeah, for sure. After Future Nostalgia, the bar is set pretty high.
Exactly. So maybe people are just expecting too much.
Maybe. Okay, let's talk about some newer artists on this list. We've got Gigi Perez
Gigi Perez, okay.
with a song called Sailor Song. I'm actually not familiar with her, are you?
Nope, doesn't ring a bell. Let's give it a listen and see what all the fuss is about.
Okay, let's do it. A brief snippet of Sailor Song plays. Yeah, okay, I can see why this one didn't exactly take the world by storm.
It's rough.
I mean, it's not terrible, but it's just, I don't know, kind of forgettable.
Yeah, it's tough for new artists to break through.
Oh, absolutely. It's a tough industry. All right, let's move on. We've got Madison Beer's Make You Mine
Okay.
and Teddy Swims the Door. Any thoughts on these two?
I think it's cool that even in this age of collabs and like mashups and stuff, there are still artists out there just doing their own thing.
Right. Just trying to make it with their own sound.
Exactly. And then sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That's the risk you take, right?
Totally. Okay, gotta ask, were there any songs on this list that surprised you?
I think the one that stood out to me was Charlie XCX's Von Dutch.
Really? That one's pretty low on the list, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But the listener who submitted it actually defended it. They said it's like a fun throwback to that whole mid-2010s dance scene.
Oh, interesting. So maybe it's just a nostalgia thing for some people?
Totally. Like one person thinks it's terrible, another person might find totally awesome.
Yeah, it's a good reminder that taste is subjective. What might be your worst nightmare song could be someone else's, like, go-to jam.
Absolutely. We all have our own unique musical journeys.
So true. Well, I think we've officially explored the depths of musical despair.
We've done it.
From questionable collabs to controversial lyrics, we've seen it all.
It's been a wild ride, that's for sure.
But, I think it's been more than just a laugh. We've learned a lot about the state of music today.
Totally. Like how artists are always trying to find that balance between staying true to themselves and, appealing to their audience.
Yeah, and how social media has given everyone a voice, for better or for worse.
Right. Like everyone's a music critic now.
It's true. So to all our listeners out there, we leave you with this question. What makes a song good or bad for you? Is it the lyrics, the melody, the production, or is it something else entirely? Hit us up on social media and let us know your thoughts.
We'd love to hear what you think.
And until next time, keep those ears open and those minds curious. Peace out. 775.